So, Ambassador, I want to ask you about something you said at a town hall in New Hampshire. You talk about the importance of New Hampshire and Iowa. We're here in Iowa. But you said about the primary process that while Iowa goes first, New Hampshire, quote, corrects it.
Oh, my gosh.
Ron DeSantis said that was incredibly disrespectful to Iowans.
Of course he did.
And of course, we are here in Iowa. I'm just looking around at people's faces. Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to say?
Look, we have done 150 plus town halls.
It's a bit like on the night of a general election saying, well, I know that Sunderland counted its ballot first, but actually the real ones are going to come from London later. It's just not the kind of thing that you want to say when you're appealing to either New Hampshire or Iowa.
But there is another aspect to this, which the other problem that Nikki Haley has is Nikki Haley. Because Nikki Haley did an interview, did a town hall, where she
should stop doing town halls, shouldn't she?
God.
Honestly?
Listen to this, because it is painful in the extreme.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you. Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question, right? I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was? I'm sorry?
I'm not running for president. I wanted to see your view on the cause of the Civil War.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government and what the rights of the people are. And I will always stand by the fact that I think government was intended to secure the rights and freedoms of the people. It was never meant to be all things to all people. Government doesn't need to tell you how to live your life. They don't need to tell you what you can and can't do. They don't need to be a part of your life. They need to make sure that you have freedom. We need to have capitalism. We need to have economic freedom. We need to make sure that we do all things so that individuals have the liberties so that they can have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to do or be anything they want to be without government getting in the way.
Thank you. And in the year 2023, it's astonishing to me that you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery?
No, you've answered my question. Thank you.
Next question.
Honestly, we are now in the 21st century. It is 2024.
Yeah.
Surely it is no longer a question of contested history that the American Civil War was about slavery and the abolition of slavery. And if you can't say that, and in fact, in fairness to Nikki Haley, she was the governor in South Carolina that agreed to take down the Confederate flags everywhere that were flying. So she has been bold on this, realising that the Confederacy was something that was to, a lot of black people living in South Carolina, something appalling that those flags were still
She took down the
flying.
Confederate flags. You and I were both there after the shooting at the Mother Emanuel Church, where Joe Biden actually was making his stump speech on the anniversary of January the 6th. And that was a racist killing. And Nikki Haley responded by removing the Confederate flag in a state that still was seen by many to have very strong racist overtones, racist elements that had led to the killing of, I think it was 7 black people at prayer. Right?
Yeah, and if you're going back into history, South Carolina was the first state to secede over the abolition of slavery that resulted in the Civil War coming around. So you can see that 160, 170 years ago, this was complicated history. But today, she ought to have been able to answer that question a lot more clearly. And she's tried to clear up the mess.
Or pivot.
Yeah.
But don't walk into it and then just kind of get swallowed up by it.
But she's then tried to clear up the mess in subsequent interviews where she said, oh, well, look, we all know that it's slavery. I thought the questioner was asking about something different.
The Newsagents USA.